It's not that meta is dead, your niche is too saturated, your budget needs an increase, or that your ads simply just don't work anymore. You see, paid ads are failing for most businesses because they are still running on a 2019 playbook in a 2026 environment. And it's true, costs are up, competition is up, attention is fragmented, and trust is lower. So the businesses that rely on run ads to a lead magnet and hope it converts are getting crushed. But the businesses that treat paid ads like a distribution engine for a proven demand system are still winning and winning predictably. Hi, I'm Christian Graham, co-founder of Americas Media and the MK Lab, and I help high-performing brands and businesses like yours scale authority and demand with content, marketing, and paid ads systems. And in this video, I'm going to show you the only client acquisition model that consistently scales in 2026 for coaches, consultants, experts, and agencies doing $20K a month or more who want more authority, more demand, and cleaner client acquisition. No fluff, no guesswork. So that way you can leave with a model you can implement immediately. But before we jump in, please go hit that like and subscribe button to help my channel grow. All right. So here's the context you already know. Your CPMs are higher, your CPL is higher, and your CAC feels unstable. And every time you fix something, new creative, new targeting, new funnels, results might improve for a second, then they flatten again. And that's not because ads are broken, it's because the constraint has been moved. And in 2026, the constraint is rarely the ad platform. The constraint is almost always one of these 6 issues that I call the common motifs. Your messaging isn't pre-selling trust before the click. Your offer isn't positioned sharply or clear enough. Your testing is too wide to identify what is bottlenecking. Your insights are too shallow to diagnose what's engaging your audience. Your funnel isn't matching how sophisticated your buyers are making decisions right now. And/or your follow-up system isn't converting demand into purchased offers. So instead of blaming ads, we're going to treat this like professionals and fix the system. So let me give you the model first, and then I'll explain. The only client acquisition model that scales consistently in 2026 is the scale demand engine. You use organic content to build trust and proof of demand. You use paid ads to amplify what already resonates, and you use a conversion system that turns content into commitment, and use feedback loops to keep improving and compounding. You see, it's not organic versus paid. It's organic produces the truth, and then paid scales that truth. And if you run paid without the truth, you don't scale results, you'll end up scaling waste. Now let's break down why your ads feel expensive and what to do about it. Most high-performing coaches and agencies hit $20K a month through a combination of reputation, referral, and brute force. They're doing a lot of things right, but their acquisition is fragile. And then they try to add ads as the solution. So they run a lead magnet or a VSL, a booking page, book to your calendar, and they expect that to print clients. But your market is much more sophisticated now. The average buyer has seen the same funnel probably about 200 times by now. They've downloaded the PDF, they've watched the free training, they've been burned by the strategy call that was actually a sales ambush. And so what happens? Your cost per lead goes up, your lead quality goes down, and your calendar gets filled with tire kickers. And the platform isn't broken. Your funnel is just misaligned with the buyer behaviors. And in 2026, buyers don't just need more information, they need conviction. They need a reason to trust you before they talk to you. And the fastest way to earn that is not the ad itself, it's what the ad points to. They're just the delivery mechanism. And the thing that you are delivering is either trust, clarity, and demand, or confusion, pressure, and skepticism. If your ads aren't converting, there's a 90% chance that you don't have an ad problem. You have a pre-sell problem. You're asking the click to do too much work. You see, the old model was add to lead magnet to your email sequence to call and then to close. While the newer model that I'm seeing with my clients that scales is you go from content to trust to retargeting, proof, offer, call, then close. Notice what changed. The ad is no longer the first touch. The ad becomes an amplifier and a closer, not just the introduction. And so if you want lower CAC in 2026, you have to stop introducing yourself with ads alone. You introduce yourself with the content as well. and use ads to retarget people who are already engaged. Put your best proof in front of warm demand and move buyers from interested to ready. That's the scale demand engine. And now I'm going to walk you through the 5-part framework I use to diagnose and fix paid acquisition systems. So write this down because this is the model, and it's called SCALE. S is for scan, C is for create, A is for activate, L is for learn, and E is for expand. If you get these 5 right, ads become predictable again. So let's start with scan. Scan means, can a stranger instantly understand and get clarity in my messaging around these 3 things: who you help, what problem you serve, and what outcome you create. Most 20K a month service businesses have good offers, but poor positioning. And they say, I help entrepreneurs scale, or I help coaches get clients, or I do marketing for businesses. And that's not clarity. That's just a category. Clarity is specificity. I help established coaches convert their audience into booked calls using a content to retargeting system. Or I help agencies reduce CAC by fixing their offer funnel and follow-up before increasing ad spend. Or I help service businesses increase demand without posting daily by building an omnipresent content engine. Specificity is expensive up front, but profitable in the long term. The reason this matters is because clarity reduces the friction, and friction is what makes the ads expensive. If the buyer has to think, they won't click. And if they click but don't understand, they don't convert. And if they convert but don't trust, they don't show. And if they show but aren't qualified, you waste time. Your clarity is the first lever, and here's a quick clarity test you can do today. Open your landing page, hide your logo, hide your credentials, and ask, does this first sentence pass the so what test? If someone reads your headline and says, so what, your ads will always be that much more expensive. The second part of all of this is to create. Creating leverage is how your system maximizes results without requiring more effort per lead. Most people try to solve expensive ads by working harder, by doing more creatives, more campaigns, more tweaks, and that's simply not leverage, right? Leverage is using assets that compound, right? Using your content library, your proof library, your offers and outcomes, your retargeting sequence, and your follow-up automation. In 2026, the businesses that win have a content machine, feeding the ad machine because content lowers CAC by warming demand. And one great piece of content can create organic leads, retargeting pools, email subscribers, inbound DMs, and social proof. And here's the third part of scale. The A means to activate. Activate what replaces skepticism. You see, your buyers are not dumb. They're cautious. And most ads fail because they promise outcomes without proof. And now, important point about integrity. You don't need to claim results you can't back up. You just need evidence that fits your reality. Activate your creatives that provide evidence that can be a documented process, before and after messaging examples, right? Screenshots of actual conversations, recorded audits where you identify constraints, mini case studies from your own ventures, or a here's what changed and here's what happened breakdown. If you can't show outcomes at scale, show clarity at depth. In 2026, authority itself is proof. A coach or consultant will choose the person who explains their problem better than they can explain it themselves. So, evidence isn't just results. Evidence is credibility through competence. Now the fourth, learn. Learning is where most people get it wrong. They run cold ads to cold audiences and expect hot behavior. Then they complain about lead quality. Cold traffic behaves cold. That's normal. So learning means you take time to assess your ad system around buyer temperature. Cold traffic objectives should be attention and trust, not immediate calls. The warm traffic objective should be proof and positioning, and hot traffic should be decision and urgency. And here's the simplest working activation map for that. You're cold, run your best authority content as ads, not buy now, not book a call. Probably just do a learn more. Your best teach and reframe content. You see, with this, you're building familiarity and trust at scale. Whereas with your warm, that should be your retarget video. Your retarget video should engage the people with engagement with proof and case studies style content. And this is where you present your why us story or your process. And your hot could be a retargeting to your website visitors, lead form openers, and those who watched most of your content. And this is where you run your direct response, book a call, apply, take the assessment. And if you skip the warm and go straight to hot, your CAC will always feel that much more unstable. Finally, the E is to expand. See, expanding is that hidden money. Most people blame ads when they should blame follow-up. If your CRM is slow, inconsistent, or manual, your acquisition costs will just rise because you're wasting demand. Now, here's the hard truth for 20K a month business owners. At this level, most lead gen problems are actually conversion infrastructure problems, meaning leads come in, but the response time is slow, or the messaging is weak, and there's no sequence or no reactivation or no show-up system. So you pay again to replace leads you already earned. And that's not a marketing issue, that's an operational issue. So here's what a modern follow-up system that expands on what works looks like. Immediate confirmation and expectation setting. Short, high-trust nurture sequence for 7 to 14 days, proof and case studies that drip, and objection handling messages, reactivation workflows for non-bookers and no-shows, and a fast path to conversion. If you fix follow-up, you can often cut CAC without touching the ad account. Now let's zoom out just a little bit on this. What's the only model that still scales in 2026? It's not a new platform. It's not a magic ad hack. It's a disciplined system. Your content creates trust and clarity, and your ads amplify that content and retarget warm demand. Your offer is then positioned sharply and solves a specific pain, and your follow-up converts demand into appointments. And then your feedback loops improve what's working and kills what isn't. That's the scale demand engine. And here's why it wins even as ads get more expensive. Because when you run ads to warm demand, you're not competing in the same auction the same way. You're not just buying attention, you're buying acceleration. You're using paid to compress that time, to show up more often, to become familiar faster, and to move people through decisions sooner. And that's what paid is for. So the question isn't, how do I get cheaper leads? The better question is, how do I build a system where every dollar spent creates compounding demand? So now I'm going to give you the practical implementation plan for you as a coach, consultant, expert, service pro, and agency doing 20K a month or more. Here's the 30-day blueprint. Week 1, build your authority asset. Pick one problem your market is already paying to solve. Create one long-form piece of content that calls out that real problem, names the hidden constraint, explains the correct path, handles the objections, and provides a clear next step. This becomes your hero asset. Week 2, you're going to slice and distribute that. Turn that hero asset into 6 to 10 short form clips, 2 to 3 written posts, 1 case study breakdown, 1 proof post or audit post, and this grows organic reach and builds retargeting pools. Week 3, launch the paid amplification. Optimize for video engagement and views first, so that way you're building warm audiences. Then go and retarget those warm audiences with proof, process, and a call to action to apply or to book. Week 4, install follow-up and measure what matters. Track your cost per booked call, your show rates, your close rates, and your cost per acquisition, and also the time it took to convert. This is where professional operators separate from dabblers. In 2026, the winners aren't those with the best ads, they're the ones with the best system behind the ads. Ads don't create demand from nothing, right? Ads magnify what's already existing. So if you want ads to work again, you need to stop treating ads like the main strategy and treat ads like the gasoline. If your engine is broken, gasoline doesn't help that. It just makes the breakdown that much more expensive. So you need to fix the engine. How do we do that? Again, scan for clarity, create leverage, activate evidence, learn, and expand on what works. That's how you scale. If you want, I can turn this into the exact build plan for you. Comment the word scale and let me know what you sell and who you sell to. And And if you want to scale your brand authority and demand online without relying on luck, subscribe. This channel is about disciplined systems that create impact, income, and influence consistently. Until next time, steward more, stress less, thank me later. Peace.